So if it were me, this is probably how I would rank the Star Wars films. S tier would 100%. Where is Empire? There's Empire. Empire, definitely S tier. Definitely S tier. We need to make this bigger. Yeah. There we go. All right, cool. So Empire, definitely S tier. I would probably put... Where is episode 3? What is this one? It's so tiny. I can't even see what it is. Episode 2, probably a D. Episode 2 is definitely a D. Not my favorite. Not my favorite. To me, it shows that that George Lucas does not know how to write romantic dialogue particularly well. That is what I learned about that one. I would also put... I would give Rogue One an A. Because to me, Rogue One elevated A New Hope. I think A New Hope is pretty great. So we're also going to put that in the A slot. It's pretty great. Episode 1, we will give it a C. It is not doo-doo butts. It is not doo-doo butts. But it's also not that's not particularly good. 3, I would give a C as well, because there are some cool moments in it, but it's not like legendary. Not legendary. And also, like, it has the same problems. The dialogue isn't super great. The CG seems to be overly reliant. I'm a firm believer that CG should enhance what's there and make what's already unbelievable that much more unbelievable. That is the purpose of CG. It's triggered. I'm sorry, Gamer Drew, but also not sorry. These are my personal opinions. Return of the Jedi, I would also put at the A tier. I would put Solo at the B tier, because Solo was fun. It was fun, but it also didn't like rock my world. It didn't rock my world. I thought it was okay. So now we've got the most recent Star Wars movies. Oh boy. Let's see. Oof. Man. This is tough. You hated Solo? What didn't you like about Solo, Kirk? What didn't you like about Solo? For me, I was very reluctant to get into Solo because I really enjoyed... Honestly, Han Solo is my favorite Star Wars character. A lot of people are like, I want to be a Jedi. I'm like, dude, I want to be Han Solo. That dude's dope. Have you seen how cool he is? He's amazing. You grew up on the prequels and the Clone Wars, so I'm biased. Exactly. And I think that's honestly, I think that's really what it is. I think it is just, when did you see Star Wars for the first time and what was your first exposure? Your first exposure point. Because already, look at this. Like, this already is pretty telling how I'm already falling in terms of how I rate Star Wars films. I've got the classic 3 near the top, and I've got a modern film that enhanced a classic film that I would say elevated this even better. Because if Rogue One didn't happen, I would have A New Hope as a B movie on a S, A, B, C, D scale. But because of Rogue One, it makes it better. It truly does. It makes it a far more impactful film. It fills in a little bit of the gaps. It makes the sacrifice on getting the Death Star plans just... It has weight. It has real weight. And it matters. It matters in the sense of the story. And you really, it's fun. You feel lost. You connect with these people, and then you watch them just, spoilers, but at this point, I mean, come on, it's been on Netflix for how long at this point? And now it's on Disney. But like, when everybody goes, it's so sad. They hook you in real quick. They hook you in real quick. You agree with Rogue One in episode 4? To me, Jedi, I loved Jedi as a kid. I loved Jedi. You have 50K bottle caps. What to do with them all? I didn't set it up, Void. I know. I suck. I still actually have the DM unread on Discord as a reminder, but I got sidetracked with other things, and I have not added it. You may send me one more angry DM that says, Cap, put the thing in. I will do it. I swear. Unsub. Unsub block reported out. But yeah. For the new films, though, let's take a look at this. Force Awakens, Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker. Let's do the one that I'm going to struggle the most with, and that is The Last Jedi. You know how you feel about this? This could be an open-ended discussion. This could be an open-ended discussion. Last Jedi. I remember we reviewed this on Real Nonsense, and I have a love-hate, push-pull opinion on Last Jedi. There's so many things that were so cool, and so many things that I was like, why? There were so many things like, yes, quintessential Star Wars, and then this isn't Star Wars. You know? To me, what really hurt my loving of Last Jedi is probably going to be the fact that it was a statement movie in number 8 of 9 movies, to 8 out of 9. You're choosing to make a very, very earth-shaking statement about Jedis, the Force, everything like that, when there's only one more movie to go. You literally take everything that everybody had accepted as the way the story had been going for 7 previous films, and you literally just pull out the rug from under them and say, yeah, all that doesn't matter anymore. And you're like, wait, what? It felt like a slap in the face. And that's the thing that really hurts my opinion of the film. Rise of Skywalker basically was trying to re-explain that, or to kind of push a lot of that aside. I also didn't really care for the through line story of Rose and Finn. It felt like a little too much extra. I appreciated the commentary about class struggle and, you know, decadence and how I like war profiteering. I thought that's insanely cool. And I really did appreciate that they took the time to do it and show it in a cool way. Very Star Wars, all the different species and the casino and the music and the outfits. Like, it was very Star Wars, but it was too much Star Wars in addition to what was already going on. We had the ship being chased with Holdo and Poe, and then we had that part, and then we also had stuff with Rey and Luke. It was just too much. It was too much and not a lot of time. Have you met Disney? Frozen literally went, don't marry a man you just met. Talk about a 180. Yeah, but honestly though, it's like most Disney films. Last Jedi, gamers are saying Last Jedi wasn't great, but it gets more hate than it deserves. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I'm not saying that I hate the film. I just felt like it was trying to do a little too much, especially at this point in the saga. At this point, we're at the 8th film with 1 to go. And you're making such a bold, massive statement like that. Like, and I honestly too, like the concluding trilogy also showed that this is kind of what happens when there really wasn't much cohesion with the films. There wasn't. Force Awakens, Rise of Skywalker at least have like a little bit of connection, and Last Jedi is kind of like just this weird little bit in the middle that kind of is connected, but it seriously is connected by toothpicks, and the bridge is not particularly strong. To me, it also is a testament to the original trilogy, Star Wars, Empire, Return of the Jedi. Those films were written basically at the same time. And so they definitely feel like they're much tighter. They feel cohesive and they're together because they were written together. These three films were not. And that really does hurt it. And despite the really crappy dialogue of the prequels, and I know a lot of you guys love the prequels. I get it. But the lore is awesome. The backstory is great. The dialogue was not particularly strong. But again, they feel together. They were written together. So because of that, I still think they're decent films. And I appreciate that they actually feel like they belong with everything else. All of those, like prequels with Rogue One and the original trilogy, feel like a unit. And even up until, honestly, Force Awakens, 1 through 7 feel like they feel tight. 8 and 9 do not. They almost feel like the outsiders of the group. 1 through 7 feel like they are together. They feel cohesive. They feel like they are they're in the same world and they're playing by the same rules of storytelling with what's going on. That's the other thing that's also kind of weird too. When you start to get to episode 8 and you have like the random powers that Leia has and all this stuff, although it's cool, it's like, why are we starting to change the rules this late in the game and just add in crazy things that we never had seen, period? It just seemed like we're just trying to do way too much when we're supposed to be getting to the end. You know, like we could see the finish line. It's not very far away. Gamer Drew saying, with the way Rise of Skywalker went, Last Jedi just seems like a non-canon fan film. I do not disagree at all. If anything, I wholeheartedly agree. Absolutely. Rise of Skywalker definitely does feel like, it feels like a fan film that was written with the intent of saying, oh shoot, I did not like how Last Jedi went. Well, time to fix that, you know? It's just, you could tell, you could see it. You could see it, man. So yeah, so with that, Last Jedi for me, I would not put where episode 1 and 2 are. I'm probably going to put it around Solo. Probably going to put it around Solo in terms of level of enjoyment. Yeah, to me personally, this is my personal thing. Love to game, the Force becomes easy to learn rather than hard like it was always explained to be. Exactly, love to game. Exactly. The Force then became just kind of like, well, anybody can have it. And I understand the idea. And this is the other thing too. I do appreciate the ideas that were in Last Jedi. Don't get me wrong on that. I appreciate a lot of what they showed, different kinds of Force powers, the social class structure, having the Force not be this like thing that you're just born with. And if you don't have it, well, then sucks for you. I appreciate that. And I think that's great. But again, you are episode 8 of 9. And you're basically telling generations of people that have grown up for Star Wars, everything you've grown up with is a load of crap. And guess what? It sucks and it doesn't matter. And so it's like, you do realize this is a Star Wars movie and you're telling people that the Force isn't as special as it should be. What? But it's like the biggest, it's like one of the biggest foundation points of the films. It's just, it's bizarre to me. It's bizarre. And I love Rian Johnson. He is great. I love Brothers Bloom. Brick is great. Knives Out was fan-frickin-tastic. I always love it when he's a guest on the Slash Filmcast. He's a great director. And he's just a lover of movies, and he's a good dude. I'm just not the biggest fan of his Star Wars entry. I feel like Ryan would have been much better tooled to do a Rogue One or a Solo, or doing maybe things with Mandalorian, things that are much more like, yeah, it's in the world and it's going to add a little extra and a little something, but giving him a place where he can make statements like that and not feel so constrained to propelling the Skywalker train. Because I feel like he took that and was like, well, I'm going to try to, change XYZ and blah, 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 blah. And then Kathleen Kennedy and everybody at Disney was like, hey, JJ, can you come back? Because he changed a whole lot and we're not digging it. Can you fix it? That's how it felt. That's what, honestly, what Rise of Skywalker ended up feeling. It felt like oh crap, time to get, the notepad out. And he said, what? Oh, geez, we got to spend time to fix this, got to spend time to fix that. And then it felt like we were on a freaking bullet train to the end. There was so much retconning that had to happen. So for me, also, that kind of puts Rise of Skywalker down here too. Because it's basically trying to retcon that back. And again, there's lots of cool moments. There's cool stuff in there. It's just too much. And I would put at the final one for me, A. I'd put Force Awakens as an A and almost an S. Man, I almost would. That movie just made me I got so excited. I got so freaking excited for Force Awakens. I smiled from ear to ear, every little sound. When you even see the little Jedi practice ball in the Millennium Falcon, the kid in me, the Star Wars fan inside me was so elated. I felt rewarded and I felt like JJ got it. I was like, this is a Star Wars movie made by a fan of Star Wars. He's got it. He knows what we want. He's building the story and he's moving it forward and he knows what matters to us. And some people would say oh, it's overly fan servicey. It's you kind of need to restore the faith a little bit here because a lot of people were shook from the prequels. You need to win us back if we're going to believe the next two that are going to come after. And I believe Force Awakens did exactly that. It restored the faith. That was its purpose. Force Awakens was to bring you in and say, hey, we've got some new people, and guess what? We know what you love. And we're going to do that. And you're going to love it. And I did. I really did. So Loved Game is saying 100% Ryan's story would have been awesome if it was an Old Republic story. I totally agree. Swamp Luke with a new character and the comeback is glorious, but reusing the same theme of redemption for the Jedi just lessens Luke's development and Return of the Jedi. Exactly. It's he had grown so much. But also you got to understand too, everything that happened with Ben Solo and him and Luke. You could understand maybe him falling back and losing faith, because the amount of time between Force Awakens and Return of the Jedi, it's a long time. It's 20 years plus. It's a long time. that a lot can happen to your mental game in 20 something years. I don't know the exact timing, so please don't tear me a new one, but I'm just judging it based on the age of Rey, the age of Ben, and all that. And then Love the Game is also saying, love the Force Awakens ending. I'm still waiting to see what Luke is going to do after that movie. Yeah. Exactly. When you do the thing, it's, oh, geez. And Bill is saying, I lost my mental game about 20 years ago. Oh, dude, same. I'm going to be 33 and I'm still wondering what the heck happened. But yeah, I totally agree. I think it's 30 to 33 years between 6 and 7. That seems about right. Seems about right. But yeah, dude, so this is where I would rank my Star Wars movies today on May the 4th, 2020. In the S tier slot, Empire Strikes Back, Force Awakens. The A tier, Rogue One, Star Wars, or A New Hope, Return of the Jedi. And then in the B slot, Solo, Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker. In the C tier, Episode 1, Episode 3. And in the D tier, Episode 2. And just to kind of summarize why the prequel's down so low, I'm still a firm believer. The dialogue was kind of lame. It was not very tight. Way over reliance on CG and digital set extension. It's painfully obvious and it aged very poorly. Despite how old the original trilogy are, they still have aged quite well. I'm still looking for a version that doesn't have all the digital restoration crap back. I would love that. I want to say my parents still have the original VHS somewhere in their attic. I might have to go find a VHS player, but I would love for that version to be digitized and put on a Blu-ray disc or even a DVD or even just digital somewhere. I would love that version to be just out in the wild somewhere. Legally. A lot of people work very hard to make those movies and they should get paid. And then, yeah. But yeah, that's how I feel. That's how I would rank the Star Wars films from basically all of them. From Episode 1 all the way to Rise of Skywalker, including Solo and also Rogue One. And if Mandalorian were to be a movie as a bonus, I would probably put Mando in the A tier. I'd put Mandalorian right about here as a little bit of a bonus. But thank you guys. I appreciate it. Let me know what you guys think would be your S tier, your A tier, your B tier, your C tier, and your D tier.